What's up, YouTube? So it's been a long time since I have put a video out, and I know that some of you have noticed that a lot of my videos have come down, and so I'm going to explain to you what happened and where I am going forward. Today is August the 20th. Today is the first day of school, and so just give you an idea of where I am. May the 25th was the last day of school for me. It was the last day to drive the bus for the year, and it was the last day to be at the elementary school where I work during the day. That Friday, the 26th, I had in-service, so the kids didn't come to school, but all the employees did. Well, I got to school that day, and the day before, I got a text from the transportation director saying that he needed to meet with me Friday morning. That was a Friday at 9 a.m. Well, my schedule is 7:30 to 3:30, so I got there at 7:30 and was kind of cleaning up or whatever, and at 9 o'clock I went over to his office like I was instructed to do, and I went into his office, and he said, "We need to go to the superintendent's office." Well, my heart instantly jumped, because you only go to the superintendent's office for two reasons. It's either a good thing or a bad thing. So we walked into the superintendent's office, and she sat me down, and she said that she had something she needed me to watch. I assumed that it was a video from my bus, and we needed to clarify an issue or whatever. It turns out that it was a video that I had posted on YouTube of me driving, and the video was facing me, and I don't know if any of you remember, but in the middle of the video, somewhere, I want to say 22 minutes sticks out, 22 minutes into the video, you hear my radio going off, and my radio was right above where the camera was, and you hear my radio going off, and they're talking about a student, and they mention the student's name. Well, not only that, but there was another video that shows that I ran a stop sign. So after she showed those videos to me, she read a memo, and I don't even know if I still have the memo, but the memo basically said that these serious, because of these serious infractions, that my employment with Pittsburgh ISD was terminated effective immediately. She asked me to give my keys and take any personal effects I had on my bus or at my in my classroom, and leave the building. I was not allowed to say anything. I was not allowed to defend myself. I was not allowed to say, give my side of the story. And not only that, but nobody said anything to me. The transportation director was in her office with us, along with the assistant superintendent. So he didn't say anything to me. So I walked out and gave him the keys that I had to the bus barn and the gate. He tried to get me to, because I was very upset. I didn't say anything, but you could tell that I was very upset. He tried to get me to come in his office and calm down, and I refused. I basically told him that I didn't work for him anymore, and that I handed him his keys, and I walked out. I walked to my bus, and got everything out of it that I needed to. While I was going to my bus, he was escorting me to the bus. I was supposed to do project graduation that day along with my wife. I walked back to my truck, and on the way back to my truck, I told him that he needed to find somebody else, that Amanda was not going to do it, knowing what had just happened. So I drive over to the elementary school to get anything that I had in my classroom, and everybody else was in a staff meeting. Well, I walked towards my building, and there is a school police officer there waiting. At this point, I got even more upset, and I knew who the cop was, and I asked him what was going on, and he said that he got a phone call saying that an employee had been let go, and that he needed to escort me through the building. I was very, very upset about that, because what could I have done? I grabbed my stuff and got back in my truck and just kind of sat there. I had no idea what to do. I didn't know what to say. I was in shock. Now, to explain why the videos came down, one of the things that she asked in the memo, the superintendent asked in the memo, was to remove any videos that pertain to Pittsburgh ISD down. So I took all of those videos down. I'm floored. This was on May the 26th. Today is August the 20th. I am floored at what has happened. It was not done professionally, I don't think. I'm not a misogynistic person. I'm not selfish, or at least I try not to be. But I can say with all honesty that I was a damn good driver. I was one of the drivers that did what they were asked to do, even when they weren't asked to do it. I did things that I should not have done, but I did to make sure that the kids got to school on time, made sure that the kids were safe, things like that. So I don't know. I'm still, to this day, because my wife is still employed with the school district, she still drives a bus. It's hard for me to be okay. I have so many mixed emotions. I have anger, I have relief, I have bitterness. I took my kids to school this morning, and I saw my old bus, and those feelings just came right back. I know that there's a lot of kids that are not going to like the fact that I'm not on that bus. But I mean, there's not anything I can do. I have this, this happened on the 26th. We left that Saturday. My wife and I had already made plans to get away for the week after school got out, so we went ahead and left on Saturday. Excuse me. We went to Hurricane Mills, Tennessee, at Loretta Lynn's ranch. While I was gone up there, I started putting in applications at other places. My first thought was to see if I could get a job at the school district in Mount Pleasant. It's fairly close, so I applied there to do just exactly what I did at Pittsburgh, drive a bus and work with the special needs. I had also put in some other applications at local places in town. We left Hurricane Mills a day early, because I had gotten a phone call for a job interview at Mount Pleasant ISD. We drove home I can't remember what day it was. I think it was a Wednesday. We drove home. I got home. I was pulling our camper. We got home at 2:30, and my interview was at 3. So I did make it to the interview. It was a really good interview. There were a lot of people. There were several folks there from the school district, including the special ed director. They were very impressed with me. They liked me. I feel confident for. Well, I had also applied at an auto parts store in town, and they were ready to hire me. I spent a lot of time at that auto parts store. I know a lot of things about vehicles, this, that, and the other, so they wanted to hire me. I went with my instinct because I hadn't heard from the school district, so I went and started at the auto parts store. And the manager and I discussed that if the school district called and wanted to hire me, and if it was a considerable amount more than what I was making at the auto parts store, that I would be going to the school district. Well, I did get a phone call from the school district. They left me a voicemail. Basically the voicemail said that they were impressed with my interview, but they were going to go in another direction, and they were choosing not to hire me because I was let go from a neighboring district. So again, the feelings came back: anger, rage, bitterness. So I am still employed with the auto parts store. I am not going to divulge the name of the auto parts store simply because I don't want what happened to me at the school district to happen again at the auto parts store. It is a very common auto parts store in just about every town, but I have been there since the beginning of June, and I am loving it. I'm moving up very quickly because I'm catching on very, very quickly. So anyway, I tell you all this to say that I will not be driving school buses anymore, but that does not mean that I will not be posting videos anymore. We still have the church bus that I still drive every Sunday and Wednesday. I've got, I want to post some videos about that, about things going on with that. There's a lot of things that have happened since the last video that I posted. Another thing that happened was April the 13th. This was before school got out, April the 13th. My grandfather passed away from a freak tractor accident. He was driving his tractor to the dealership to have it worked on, and the box blade, or the pull blade that he was pulling, got caught on a guardrail, flipped over, and he passed away that night. So that has really messed with me. We're just now getting into a stage where it's okay to discuss him. He was the person that raised me. He was the person that taught me everything I knew. And I also, I look at it as a blessing that I'm working for this auto parts store, because I can carry on the things that he's taught me. Everything with auto parts that I know and vehicles, I learned from him. So it's been hard on my grandmother. She's just now getting into a place to where she's not crying all the time, and she's happy. In fact, I'm headed out there now. I've got some things I need to do. I'm the person they call when they need fixing. Stuff needs fixing, because Pop, taught me all of that stuff. Another thing is that I'm bringing home my car. My grandfather had a 1930 Model A Ford, and that he left to me in his will. So I'm going to bring the car home, and I've got a lot of work I need to do to it, and so my videos will be on that as well. I bought a four-wheeler, and so that is coming to my house today. My father-in-law had it, and he's bringing it to me today. So there will still be content of things that need to be done, but it's not going to be school buses. It will be the church bus. It will be the Model A. It will be stuff on the farm at my grandmother's place. I've got to work on their Kubota RTV. My grandmother is ready to plant her fall peas and fall beans, so I'm going to be doing that today. And then I'm taking the Model A home. I'm excited to see what the future holds with me not being at the school district. Like I said, I'm angry, but at the same time I'm relieved, because there's a lot of things that it's just different, and I'm okay. I'm okay with all of this. So keep watching, stay tuned, and look for other content, and we will see you in the next video. And comment, leave me a comment, subscribe to see more farm videos, tractors, the Model A, all of the stuff that my grandparents have. I'll be showing some of it, and be sure to stay tuned. So we'll catch you later.